Welcome to Isis in the Bible, the Summer Gathering, Week 3. Hear me. And that's the letter H spread out from the ear intentionally. The question of today is, what do you think ears can pick up? Just like on a guitar, there's a pickup. Can it only pick up the sounds that are really close by? Or can you pick them up at a distance or beyond? There's much more to it than meets the ear. So we're glad you joined us today. While I'm reading this, I'm getting squirreled by my own thoughts. I'm hearing something. I'm hearing Judy saying, well, I can't hear what's close to me like the pickup on a guitar string, but I can hear what's far away from me. So that's a gift. I really want people to pay attention because this is really important, that we have so many gifts and yet they're given labels. So a couple of quick mentions of what's happening in the sky. The yearly talk about the Lion's Gate has started. We just wanted to let you know that the sun moves into Leo on August the 16th. Okay, that's the Lion's Gate. It doesn't start till August the 16th. The sun actually in the sky, as you would know, there has to be a connection. And this is the connection. This is the true connection. Leo, which is compassionate bravery. Remember, as we move into August 16th, that compassionate bravery means be brave, but be heart-centered. And then on August the 22nd, Regulus is the brightest star, the royal star in Leo, the lion. The sun then meets there on August the 22nd. And look at that, the protector of the hearth, the fire within, Vesta, is also there. So we have a really beautiful one. There's so many more alignments happening this year. It's just crazy beautiful. So the royal stars are very prominent in the Bible, in Egyptian walls, and in churches throughout the world. So if you want to connect, it's not a choice. Just be aware of these beautiful energies. Even though the celebration of Lion's Gate is off by 23 days, it is beautiful to manifest and people getting together and celebrating. But there's so many celebrations that we have that we're missing, and we got to stay on that connection. So in other words, when we hear that ringing in our ear, that is the connection. So it's important that we connect with these right dates because there's actually a connection going on. And that's why we are now being connected by this Phoenix rising, so we can have the revelation of the same. So, but it's best to have group manifestations when the connection is truly there on the 22nd of August. If you have something going on in your life, if you don't, you may want to plan something. The other thing I wanted to mention was, and I missed this, which is beautiful, because on my mom's birthday, Lilith went back direct. This is the symbol for Lilith on Astrogold. So Lilith went forward in Scorpio. Lilith, don't forget, is temptations versus gifts. And we're talking about gifts today. And then backwards And then on July the 17th, my mom's birthday, it started moving direct again. And it will leave Scorpio on November the 20th, which is around, by the way, Samhain. And what's Samhain? We'll talk about a little bit later, but Samhain is about All Souls Day, Day of the Dead. Note that on the 20th, the Samhain, the sun aligns opposite the Pleiades, Alcyone, which is the ear. We'll talk about that in a bit. So before we move on to the topic, a brief mention of a couple dates that you might want to keep handy or keep an ear out for, especially if you're intuitive and can hear messages from beyond or abroad. This can be either from those whom have left the visible or still here but are not visible. Pluto will be aligning in a trinity with Alcyone, the ear of the universe. Alcyone is part of the Pleiades. On Monday, August the 19th, right near the Lion's Gate, and on December the 2nd. So you can see that it will, in a trinity, on August 19th, near the Lion's Gate. So what will we hear? And then again, December the 2nd, because Pluto's been in retrograde and going direct. So also known as the death card, Pluto, right? As you know, Pluto is Osiris and is the death card in the tarot. But it really is you as your highest self that you can tap into. This would be known to us as God the Father. So there's a couple of great dates that you can think about and jot down, and if something happens, hey, speak up, because you are gifted. So let's get to the root of hearing. Can we start this hearing, please? Order in this courtroom. We will prove to the jury that when people hear voices, they are actually connecting with those whom have left the visible. So please keep that as a focus of today's gathering. Have you heard of the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades, the cluster of stars in the constellation of Taurus? So does the Pleiades form an ear of sorts? Kind of looks like one. Well, listen up. There is something you want to hear about the ear. You will soon learn to be brave when you hear voices, or you are with someone who says they hear voices, or there's things that are happening with your ears, like many people have said during our question of the day. Man, we got a lot of gifted people here that really need to know that it's a gift, and some people already know that. In medical astrology, when there's a connection to Alcyone of the Pleiades, this is truly a gift. It just shows us that we're gifted. We'll show you some examples shortly. The Pleiades is a cluster of stars known as the Seven Sisters. Alcyone is the brightest one, and it's in the constellation of Taurus. And in medical astrology, Taurus is the ear, nose, and throat. And today we'll be talking about the ear. So let's now venture as to why it's so important to track the Seven Sisters, this beautiful cluster in the constellation of Taurus. There's a relationship with the Pleiades, Orion's belt, and Sirius that is most definitely important to note. So monumental that they built the shaft in the Great Pyramid to show this alignment. Why do you think we, in a past life, went through all this trouble to make this shaft line up, and one of the scores on the side of the shaft line up with the Pleiades? Now you will know. You are listening with your Pleiades ear. In this image is a setting of Christmas Eve. As you can see, December 25th at 0:26. So just Christmas Eve moving into Christmas. And looking south while standing in Giza, looking through the Great Pyramid, all right, you will see Orion's belt, right, which is the three kings on Christmas Eve. So remember, we've had this discussion before. When you go on Christmas Eve and look due south, near midnight, you'll see this exact scene. So I picked right here at the Great Pyramid in Giza. Sirius, which we call baby Jesus, which in reality is you in spirit form, and the alignment with the Pleiades, to which we show Alcyone. So there's Sirius, Orion's belt, and Alcyone form this beautiful alignment. So this is really interesting. Why did they go through all that trouble to show us this? So it's evident in the Bible, and if you're interested in what's all in the Bible, this blog site I just stumbled upon is awesome. blog.try-god.org. The blog discusses the Pleiades' significance in biblical astronomy, linking the star cluster to the Great Pyramid's alignment. It highlights the scored lines in the Great Pyramid's descending passage aligned with star Alcyone of the Pleiades, indicating a celestial connection between Orion's belt and the Pleiades. The Pleiades are associated with divine blessings and Christ's return, to which we know as the Phoenix Rising. So we're starting to hear and we're starting to understand why we hear the things we do. And this symbolizes hope and salvation for humanity. So if anybody wants to learn more about what they have in the stars, man, this person here has really gone in deep throughout the whole Bible and what's in the stars. Really good. So I'll be venturing more there. So here we'll show you how important it is to watch both the stars that rise before the sun sets or sets before the sun rises. If you recall, we spoke about Samhain, which goes by many names. Samhain is All Souls, Day of the Dead, Halloween, All Hallows, Hallowmas. The true date of Samhain, aka the Day of the Dead, is on November 22nd. The sun sets and rises as Alcyone of the Pleiades, the seven sisters, in Taurus, rises and sets. This is the portion of the cross where we are not in manifest, so there is no amplitude. So before I show you this little clip that I have, so here's the harvest line. This is the cross, right? This is the plus when we're in manifest, and when we're not in manifest, there's no longer any amplitude. So it means there's a straight line. So when that happens, right, this is the east, that's the west. So when the sun rises or the sun sets and the star rises or the star sets along this line, it's a connection point. It's a divine, high, infinite connection point. So that's when you're in manifest, that's the plus versus the minus. You are able to see it's in manifest or it's unmanifest. So I just wanted to show you that on November 22nd, we talked about this before, there's an alignment on that line, on the cross, on the harvest line with Alcyone and the sun. So you can see there is Alcyone right there is setting on November the 22nd, right? And you lift over to the other side in the east, and the sun is rising. So during this portion of time, as the sun starts going through this, nearing November the 22nd, they will change places of who's rising the east and who's setting in the west. So there is a connection point, especially for those who are in tune with sounds. They'll really start to feel these because the Pleiades and the sun are going to be at this beautiful connection. The memories are in the waters. We should be able to hear our voices past and all who've left the visible and waiting their return. Hence why the Egyptians, aka us, who left the message on the walls to tell us we are working on our next life, make it all loving. So they went through all this trouble. So looking on November 22nd, here is the sun across from the Pleiades, to which when you take the Halloween, All Souls Day, and you add the 23 degrees that were off, the people are doing tropical versus sidereal, then it brings us to November the 22nd. So you can see that we're off. So you can see that the sun on November 22nd is exactly close. Taurus, the bull, and Scorpio, right? And again, remember, Lilith is going through Scorpio right now. The Dendra Zodiac shows in this position the Leonid. The Leonid meteor showers that happens around the Samhain. All this energy that we see and we're going to be able to hear on this beautiful time. So we went through this for a reason, because this is to show us what our gifts are. It's a reminder about our gifts. So Meniere's disease is a label given to us, or should it be looked upon as a gift we possess? So we want to talk about gifts versus label. Meniere's disease is something that have to do with the ears. And if it has to do with the ears, it should be Alcyone and the Pleiades, right? That's what we want to prove to you. That's why I'm talking to the jury. I want to prove it to you. So let's focus on what people can hear as gifts and its relationships with Alcyone and the Pleiades. So a very dear friend we just reconnected with, they've moved away for like 20 something years, and we just reconnected last Thursday. It was beautiful. she's very intuitive and she hears voices. So while we're talking, she goes, something's coming in that whole time. Well, her moon, I did her chart right then and there. Her moon, as you can see, is aligned Alcyone, and the cluster is all through here. So she can hear. This is proof. I already knew exactly where to go look because I've done some people that had issue with their ear, right? Not realizing it's their gift. So she gets many dizzy spells, and she was giving the label of Meniere's disease. Her father, her great-grandfather, they had what they called scar tissue or some other different form in there. So there's the hereditary. No, it's a gift. It's a gift that's passed down. Well, she was very ecstatic and invigorated to have proof that what she is experiencing is a gift. So I thought, let's move on to some celebrities that have this gift. Jessie J, born Jessica Ellen Cornish, is a British singer-songwriter known for her powerful vocals and hit songs like Price Tag and Domino. Her music blends pop, soul, and rhythm and blues, and she has received acclaim for her dynamic stage presence and songwriting talent. You got to have a good ear, right? Jessie J was diagnosed with Meniere's disease in 2014, which they call a disorder of the inner ear that can lead to vertigo, hearing loss, and tinnitus. Despite the challenges possessed by this condition, she has continued to pursue her music career with determination and resilience. Now, I don't know if she hears voices, but she obviously can hear. She's got a good ear, right? Well, if you look at her chart, right, you can see Alcyone is there. Her Castor, which is one of the two twins, Castor and Pollux, the mortal one, is aligned with Alcyone. The moon is in aspect with Hygeia, and Hygeia is square Alcyone. She's getting a cleanse from Hygeia. Is she tuned in to her gift? That could be part of her cleanse. So you can see how this beautiful soul has a gift that she needs to know. Maybe she does know. Have you heard of Les Paul? The guy that made guitars? Everybody wants a Les Paul guitar, right? Born Lester William Pulfus, was an American guitarist, inventor, and pioneer of modern music technology. He is best known for creating the solid body electric guitar and multi-track recording, revolutionizing the music industry and shaping the sound of contemporary music. Les Paul was diagnosed with Meniere's disease in the early 1960s, a condition affecting the inner ear that led to episodes of vertigo, tinnitus, and hearing loss. Despite the challenging diagnosis, he continued to innovate and perform, leaving a lasting impression on the music world. Well, for him to have a guitar that everybody wants, that means he's able to hear it and tune that puppy and make a body there that resonates, so everybody would love it. So if you go and look at his chart, not only does his part of fortune, which is tied to the moon and the sun, aligned with Aldebaran, and his Aldebaran is aligned with past life Alcyone, the royal star, Aldebaran aligned with Alcyone. That is huge, folks. The royal stars, that's why this connection means so much. So when we're talking about the Lion's Gate, we need to connect, we need to pay attention on the right date that's happening in the sky. It's all beautiful. I'm not judging, really, I'm not. But it is important that we get to right connections. So you can see, look at this beautiful Neptune. Neptune is in a 30-degree aspect with Alcyone. And as you know, 30 degrees is music, right? Because that's the 12 around the zodiac, the 12 chromatic scale. And also Pallas, all aligned with Alcyone. So Pallas is community. So you can see it was 100% tied in with community and also with the energy of music. So there's a reason why these people have these gifts, because they're gifted, but so are you. And if you're hearing something, it's a gift. If you're hearing voices, it's a gift. There is so much magic to the world we are so connected with. Can you hear the message? You don't have to have this alignment to see the facts that we are infinite and tethered to pure love. Alcyone and the Seven Sisters of Pleiades. And when the sun is across the sky in Scorpio, it's a reminder message of stepping on the scorpion and separating that Ouroboros. Are you ready? Is us stepping on that thought process, that label that we're not gifted, that we're not tethered to pure love, and stay centered, stay connected, stay balanced. A couple quick things where Pleiades is in the Bible. So in Job 9, To My Friends is the title. She is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who hath hardened himself against her and has prospered? In other words, you can't go against Mother Love, Mother Nature. You'll never prosper. Which removeth the mountains, especially the concrete jungles, and they know not. Which overturneth them in her message. Which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble. Which commandeth the sun, and it riseth not, and sealeth up the stars. Which alone spreadeth out the heavens, and treadeth upon the waves of the sea. Sorry, my old English is not that great. Which maketh Arcturus, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. So there's so much in the Bible about astrology, because the Bible is an astrology book. It's our connection with unity, with all. And last but not least, Job 38, the ruling goddess speaks. Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man, I will question you, and you shall answer me. This is the ruling goddess speaking. It said Lord, but I changed to ruling goddess because we know that definition. Who shut off the seas behind doors when it burst forth from the womb, when the waters break? Who can bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt? Can you bring forth the constellations in their season? So when I showed you that meteor shower that's written on the Egyptian walls in the Dendra Zodiac, it's infinite there. It's not random meteor showers. It aligns with Samhain, the Day of the Dead, All Souls Day, Halloween. We're connected. We're connected to everybody that's left the visible. Get over it. You're infinite and you're tethered to pure love. And that's all we have for today.